Today, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz toured the UT Health Science Center campus and facilities that will be used for the new UT Tyler School of Medicine until their new building is finished in the city's hospital district. Senator Cruz's visit comes as the new medical school prepares to welcome its first class of students next month. Soon after Senator Ted Cruz walked into the UT Tyler School of Community and Rural Health, he walked out with school leaders for a tour of the Health Science Center campus.
To discuss the incredible plans for a brand new School of Medicine. The nursing school is here, all of the great work that is done here at UT Tyler that is helping really train up a next generation of young men and young women in the medical field to stay and be doctors and be nurses and take care of the community here in East Texas.
Cruz later sat down with elected officials like Tyler Mayor Don Warren, Smith County Judge Neil Franklin, and State Senator Brian Hughes.
The future with the medical school and the expanding pharmacy school and nursing school is very exciting. We are blessed to have this facility in all the campuses here in East Texas.
The roundtable also featured university leaders like UT Tyler President Dr. Kirk Calhoun, who pointed out regulatory challenges that Cruz could help with.
Both of them are highly regulated, which we could use some benefit there with reducing some of that overregulation.
Cruz's visit comes as the med school prepares to welcome its first class next month on the Health Science Center campus as they await the completion of their new medical education building in the summer of 2025.
I can tell you one of the big priorities of the medical school is to have as many of those young doctors as possible come out and stay here in the community and provide medical care here in the community that's growing and needs that medical care, and I think that's a great development.
And again, the medical school will welcome its first class next month with a white coat ceremony set for July 1st.